Welcome to the California Football Officials Association Week 6 video bulletin. I cannot believe that we are halfway through this season. Special thanks to the San Fernando Valley unit for having me out to their meeting tonight. Always great talking football with that group. Let's get into the clips for this week. So I thought we'd start off this week reviewing the Week 5 quiz results. A couple of folks have written in over the last couple of weeks about some of the quiz questions. So let's just go through some of the quiz questions from Week 5 here. First one being the covering official should drop a beanbag to mark the end of a free kick, as this could be an enforcement spot if Team R commits a foul during a free kick. That is false. A beanbag is not needed when a free kick ends. It will not be an enforcement spot. There is an exception there in Rule 10.4 that the basic spot at the option of the offended team be the succeeding spot for fouls by K during a legal free kick or scrimmage kick down other than kick catch interference prior to the end of a kick when K will not be next to put the ball in play. So unlike a scrimmage kick or a punt, where that could be an enforcement spot when we have a post-scrimmage kick foul or PSK, the end of a free kick will never be an enforcement spot. Maybe some of you were a little bit confused when we looked at a couple of plays on momentum a couple weeks back. We would want to drop a beanbag to mark the spot of momentum if the receiver's momentum brings him or her into the end zone. We would want a beanbag down to mark the spot of momentum, but we would not need a beanbag down at the end of a free kick for any type of enforcement. Blindside block is illegal when it is executed outside the free blocking zone with forceful contact unless it is initiated with open hands. A lot of consistency here. 96% of you got that correct, and that is true. Player shall not block below the waist except in the free blocking zone when it meets when the contact, meets the requirements of Rule 217 or to tackle the runner pretending to be the runner. We have that as true. A lot of alignment. Hey, we went through our steps for when blocking below the waist is legal. We have our checklist. All players are on the line of scrimmage in the free blocking zone at the snap. The contact is in the zone, and the block is immediate initial action following the snap. All of you got that correct. Here's the holding clip that I showed last week. Would you have thrown your flag on this play? There's no right or wrong answer here. The action in the clip by rule is a hold. Very evenly distributed. I was actually at the San Fernando Valley meeting tonight, and we talked about this play a little bit. I think I said that earlier in the week it was at about 65-35 here, but some really kind of straight down the middle there. 39 of you said yes, you would throw your flag. 38 of you said that despite the foul, the foul was not at the point of attack and the runner did not gain any advantage there because of the hold. So we'll talk more about that throughout the season, maybe within your units, talk about it pregame with your crew, etc. So a 2nd and 3 from the B30 going in. Line to gain is the B27. Running back A21 receives the pitch from the quarterback and runs to his right behind fullback A35. At the B20, B53 blocks A35 below the waist. A21 runs to the B8 where he is tackled. The enforcement spot for the illegal block below the waist is the B20, the spot of the foul. That is false. We have a foul by B during an A run. So the basic spot is going to be the end of the run, and we are going to enforce this from the end of the run as well. So this would be A first and goal, from the 4-yard line here. Again, because we have a foul by B beyond the line of scrimmage during an A run, we're going to enforce this from the end of the run. K 4th and 10 from the K40 during the kick. R20 executes an illegal blindside block at the K25. An illegal blindside block to K25 at the R30. The ball is caught by R5 at the R25 and returned to the R45. Since the foul occurs behind the end of the run, this foul will be enforced from the R30, the spot of the foul. That is incorrect. So that is false. Since this foul occurs during the kick, here we have PSK enforcement. So we have a foul by R during a kick. That's why we have a beanbag down at the end of the kick. Is that now that becomes the enforcement spot. If this foul occurred behind the end of the kick, we would enforce this from the spot of the foul. But in this case, because the ball is caught at the R25 and the foul occurs at the R30, we would enforce this foul from the end of the kick or the R25. A first and 10 from the A20, guards A75, holds B90 at the A16 just before the quarterback throws an incomplete pass. The next down will be, great job here, everybody. We enforce this now from the previous spot. So this is the new penalty enforcement in table 10.4. We are going to enforce this from the previous spot. A first and 20 there from the A10. Last year, we would have enforced this from the spot of the foul, which would have put A in an insurmountable down and distance. We don't want to do that anymore, so good job here. And then a couple of easy ones. A late flag is not synonymous with a slow flag. Thank you, Todd. We would rather be slow and correct versus quick and wrong. I hope that one person was just screwing around a little bit. And then the final question here, beginning in the third extra period of overtime, if Team A scores a touchdown, they must attempt a 2-point try. This is maybe a little misleading, but the answer here is true. So beginning with the third period, Team A scores a touchdown, they must attempt a 2-point try. They can still kick the ball if they want, but that 1 point will not count towards their score. So we would probably want to send the kicking team off and explain to the coach that you might as well go for 2 here, because that 1 point will not count. So great job on this quiz. There's another quiz in the description of this video here below. Hope everybody enjoyed it, and on to the next clip. Really quickly wanted to talk here about mechanics, specifically from the flanks, and pay no attention to the letters on the back of this flanks jersey here. But ultimately, we've got a fourth down situation, fourth and very short, less than a yard. And in reviewing this clip with a couple of different folks this week, I think Dave Batista out of the Orange County unit put it best. The two most important lines on our field are the line to gain and the goal line. And when either one of those lines is threatened, we need to crash in and help sell whatever call we're going to have here. So in this particular case, we did have a muff snap. This is not considered as a fumble. But watch the mechanics of the flank on top of the screen relative to the mechanics of the flank on the bottom of the screen. We want to see our flanks really get in there and help sell the call, especially if we've got a really close situation like we do here. More than likely, as an umpire, I'm going to dig that ball out. I'm going to give it to one of the flanks, and I'm going to ask him or her to spot that ball so that we can determine whether or not we've got a first down or not. It's a really clean look. It helps sell whatever call we're going to make. We can kill the clock here. We know in a fourth down situation, it's going to be a first down for someone. So feel free to kill the clock. But please, flanks, crash in here on this and help the umpire, help the referee, frankly, help the announcer, help the fans determine whether or not this is going to be a first down or not. Here's an interesting play that was actually sent to me by Mark Milsom there out of our San Fernando Valley unit. Mark and I talked about this last night, and then we reviewed it tonight actually at the San Fernando Valley meeting. Appreciate those guys having me out there again. So ultimately, we're going to see a good example of a hurdling here, and we know from 943D that it is a personal foul to hurdle an opponent. And we need to know what the definition of hurdling is. So for that, we're going to look at Rule 222, I believe. Rule 2, Section 22 for hurdling. Hurdling is an attempt by a player to jump or hurdle with one or both feet or knees foremost over an opponent who is contacting the ground with no part of his body except one or both feet. And Jim and John tonight did a great job talking through this with their association. So in this particular case, zooming in here, you see that this defensive player, this player on Team K, has both feet on the ground. He does not have another body part on the ground. If his hand was on the ground, if his elbow was on the ground, if he was laying flat on the ground, then hurdling in this case is legal. But because they only have one or both feet on the ground, this is a personal foul for hurdling. It's just the personal foul signal. We don't have a specific signal for hurdling here. And this would be 15 yards from the previous spot, or excuse me, 15 yards from the spot of the foul, since the foul occurs behind the end of ours run. And that's going to do it for week 6. Appreciate everybody watching. Slow whistles, call what you see. Have a great game this week. Take care, everybody.